Hi, Attorney Vernita Williams here with a word to the wise. You need to make a will and you need to do it right, or the one you don't like will end up with all your stuff. Yep, I said it. The one you don't like will end up with all your stuff. That's why I named my book Make a Will, Do It Right, or the one you don't like will end up with all your stuff. Now, why in the world did I name this book this? Well, I've had the privilege of doing a lot of seminars in the South Florida area where I live, and I've seen a lot of things happen in the court cases that I handle, and the community people ask me a lot of different questions. And you know what? I know a lot of people who know a lot of bad things that happened after a loved one passed away. Sometimes the person doesn't have a last will and testament, and that creates chaos. And sometimes they do have a last will and testament, but it was not done properly. Their estate plan simply wasn't put together well. So then you need to do a will and you need to do it right so that it will be enforceable. There are so many things that can go wrong simply because you just don't know all these different laws that are in place that could undermine your good intentions. And you know what? There's a good way for you to find out about those things. But listen, let me give you some prime examples of cases that I have actually handled. You know, there was a lady that contacted me and she said, I've been gone away from my husband for more than 15 years. That's what she told me. She said they got married 20 years before she contacted me. She left with her lesbian lover, and she's been with her lesbian lover for 15 years. Her husband died. She said she didn't even know the man died. It was 30 days before she found out he was dead. But she said, we are still married, and I want some of his assets. Well, the man had a house worth about $1 million, so I said to her, well, here's the thing. I can represent you. We can file a claim against his estate as long as we do it by the statutory deadline, and we can force the sale of the house and you can get 50% of the money. That's what we did. And guess what? The husband did have a last will and testament, but he didn't realize that his last will and testament could not get rid of his spouse's rights. You know, the spouse that left him for a woman. The spouse that didn't even know the man had died. She came, I represented her, we used the law, we forced the sale of the house, she got 50% of the money. Was that fair? Not really. But it was the law. Another instance. There was a gentleman who made his daughter beneficiary of his one bank account with $80,000 in it. Everybody knew, the whole family knew, he intended for the daughter to get the money and share it with her siblings. Well, she took the money from the bank because she was the beneficiary. Did she share the money? No. Her siblings took her to court. They told the judge. The judge listened. The judge says, well, the money is outside of the jurisdiction of the court. He said, if you think somebody got your money, call the police, but it won't be dealt with here. The siblings were shocked to leave the courtroom finding out that there was nothing they could do. Well, the dad that made this sister the beneficiary of his one bank account, he didn't know it was going to go that way. So that is why I wrote this book. Make a will, do it right, or the one you don't like will end up with all your stuff. Now, let me tell you what's in here so that you can be excited and motivated. This is a very easy read. It's a fun read. But in this book, you're going to find out the 8 key decisions you need to make. You're going to find out what those are. You're going to find out 7 things you need to decide about life support that nobody ever told you. You're going to find out the 5 common mistakes that people make when they do a durable power of attorney. You will find out what a last will and testament can do and what it can't do. You really need to know what it can't do so your family won't be shocked and surprised after you pass away. you will find out the 7 benefits of doing a revocable trust. You're going to find out a lot of things about insurance, like the 4 things you need to know and 10 common life insurance mistakes you definitely don't want to make. So there's all this information in this one simple book. You know what? Reading this book is very important because statistically 6 out of 10 Americans don't have a last will and testament. Statistics also indicate that 74% of Americans say planning their estate is just confusing. They have no clue what to do, no clue what the laws are. So they say it's just too confusing to do. And guess what? 35% of people say they know folk who had a really hard time after somebody passed away because things were in such disarray. So this book cures this. Now, you know what? If I had to tell you everything in this book, I would probably take about 30 minutes for each of the 8 chapters. That would be about 4 hours of talking to you. And if I spent 4 hours of attorney's time at $350 an hour, that would be $1,400. So the information in here can honestly, reasonably be valued at $1,400. Now, I know you're saying, there is no way you're going to pay $1,400 for a book. I get that. That is why this book is offered at a doable, reasonable price of $20. And you know what? Why am I doing that? Well, I get the ultimate fulfillment out of giving information that enlightens and helps you to get your affairs in order the way they should be. That's a benefit to me. So we're offering this for $20. You can get this book. You can do a little self-study. You can find out the 8 decisions you need to make. You can find out all the critical points that you need to consider when you're making the 8 decisions. And then once you've read this, you can meet with an attorney and you are armed with enough information to have a good understanding about your goals, what you're trying to do, and even questions that you want to ask the attorney that you're meeting with. Now, $20 is a very, very small price for this material, and it's a small price for you to find out what you need to know to avoid problems in the future. So I encourage you, you can get this book right now, $20. If you scroll down, you will find a Buy Now button. Push that button. You can provide your payment information, and you can have this book in a very, very short period of time. Remember, this is a perfect opportunity for you to get this book, read it, enjoy it. It's fun reading. Share it with your family, and pretty much get control of your affairs so that you don't have to suffer some of these awful consequences that happen every day. It's a simple read. Scroll down to the Buy Now. It's only $20. Remember, you need to make a will. You need to do it right, or the one you don't like will end up with all of your stuff. And you definitely don't want that to happen.